Aloha, this is Bordessa from ʻUkulele.com. I'm going to jump into my part 3 of theory right now. I'm going to talk about constructing chords. So we've already been over how to make a major scale out of the 12-note chromatic scale. What we do now to make chords is you're working from just the 7-note major scale. So do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So for this example, let's use the C major scale. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And what we're going to do now is you associate a number with each of these. Okay? So you give C1, D2, and we just go up the line like so. And if it helps you imagine it, you can imagine that the next C is 8 or 1. You'd start over again. So we have numbers and we have note names. To create chords, what you're going to do is you pull certain notes out of the scale. And with those notes you combine them, find them on the fingerboard, and then you can play them on your ukulele. So let's start with the easiest formula, or easiest kind of chord pattern, which is just the basic major chord. Okay? And what you do for this is you're going to find the 1, the 3, and the 5 notes out of these that are up here. Okay? So 1, 3, 5, we take the 1, which is C. I'll do that in a different color. C is 1, E is 3, and then G is the 5th. So now we end up with C, E, and G. Those are the notes in a C major chord because we started on the root here. You always start from the 1 of whatever name you want to name your chord after. So if you wanted to make an A sharp minor, you'd start with an A sharp major scale. It's always a major scale named after the note you want your chord named after. So if we were going to make a G major, we'd use a G scale. If we were making A major, you'd use an A scale. So same concept here, you're always starting from the 1 and working up. So 1, 3, 5 gives us C, E, and G. Now if we take that information and we put it onto the ukulele, you probably already know your C chord. It's just like this. But if we actually look and examine, we can find that, yes indeed, this is a C chord. So we need to find a C note. That's easy because you have your open C string. And E note, again that's easy, E string. And then G, that's easy too. So with those 3 notes together, you can just play the top 3 strings open. And that is a C chord. Something that happens a lot though with ukulele is because we have that extra string, it kind of doesn't make a lot of sense to not use it, because when you do use it, it adds more to the sound and you get a bigger sounding chord. So what you're doing with this particular chord is you're just doubling the C. So we have a C here which is open, and then we have the high C on the A string. So you can double any of the notes here. So as you maybe know different C chords going up, those double different notes as you go up. So you can double the C, you can double the E, the G. If you were playing like piano or guitar or something where you had more notes available, you had either the 6 strings or as many fingers as you've got, you could play 2 C's, 2 E's, 3 G's, you know, however, whatever you can reach, you can play those and it's still going to sound like a C chord. So let's try another chord, just for kicks, another major chord, just to make sure the concept is there. Let's do some weird chord like F sharp, just for kicks. So we figured out our F sharp major scale using the 12 chromatic notes, if you want, or you can just watch me write it on the board. F sharp, let's see, in F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp, and then D sharp, E sharp, and then you go back to F sharp. So using this scale, maybe this wasn't such a good idea as an example because we have E sharp, okay? The reason you have an E sharp in here, this is another kind of just theory rule of thumb, not worth making its own video, but theory rule of thumb is when you make a major scale, you use every one of the letters. Always. You'll always use every one of the letters. So in order to do that, the F is already used up because we're calling it F sharp. F is already used. So we can't call E sharp just normal F because that's what an E sharp is. There's no E sharp. It's just F. But we're calling it something different because we need to represent every one of the letters in each of the main letters. No sharps or flats, accidentals or whatever in our scale. So by having the E sharp, we can do that. Anyways, tangent over. So we put our numbers on the scale. My pen works. Again, you can pretend the F sharp is down at the end here and it just repeats and you can call it 8 or 1. Okay, so to make a major F sharp major chord, again we're going to take the 1 and then the 3 and 5. So F sharp, A sharp, C sharp. If you find those on the ukulele, you have, this is the easiest, F sharp to get to, A sharp, and then C sharp. So the bottom 3 strings in a G shape down 1 fret is F sharp, but we're doubling one note, we're doubling the A sharp to get this shape, which is just an F, but you move it up 1 fret and you bar across with your index finger and transfer your other 2 fingers up. So 3, 1, 2, 1. That's your F sharp. Okay, so now let's try doing minor chords. Minor chords. So the formula for a minor chord is almost the same, but it's 1 flat 3 5. So now we use the same concept, but we're going to change one thing. Okay? We still need the 1, the 3, and the 5, but we're just altering the 3. So let's use F sharp just because it's written down, why not? So we have F sharp, A sharp, and C sharp. But the directions in the formula tell us to flat the 3. So this 3 right here, it goes from A sharp, we bring it down to an A to make it the minor. Okay, so that's the only difference between major and minor is the 3. It's a normal 3 in major and it's a flat 3 in minor. So you always tape down that third when you're making a minor chord. So F sharp, A, because we bring the A sharp down, and C sharp. So F sharp, 2nd fret on the E string, and then the just normal A, you can do the bottom open A string, and then C sharp. You can play the 3 bottom strings, 1, 2, 0. But for our the normal F sharp minor chord that everybody plays, you double the A. So now you have 2, 1, 2, 0 for F sharp minor. Let's try one more minor. Let's try C minor. Okay, so we base it off of just a normal C major scale. Easy enough. So now we're gonna have our 1, C, and then our flat 3, which is E, but we move it down, we flat the E, so it's E flat. And then the 5. So the only difference is just the E flat down from a C major. So we can have, this one's a little tricky because we have different, the way the cookie crumbles is a little different with this chord. So let's pretend we know this C shape. This is a C major chord. It's just like a B flat except you move it up 2 frets. So 5, 4, 3, 3. And the E note in here is the 4th fret on the C string. So from the major to the minor, all we have to do is just take that E note down 1 fret. So now if you play, that's C minor. So 5, 3, 3, 3. Just like an A minor, except you move it up, so it starts on the 3rd fret. That's C minor. So that's the basics of building triad chords, or 3-note chords. Whenever a chord has 3 notes, it's called a triad. So major and minor, there are actually 2 more triads, but I'm going to cover those in another video along with more weird stuff like inversions and 7th chord.